So we got something new in the shop. I have been a fabricator forever. I have been a machinist, a welder, hot rodder, all kinds of stuff. But I've never actually forged anything. Start from scratch and built something, you know, just out of a bunch of welded together, or raw steel. So for Christmas, my wife got me this Mr. Volcano 2-burner forge. I would have done an unboxing video, but this sucker is heavy, mostly because it comes with these bricks inside, and all of this, and all of this, and all of that. And I just got it out of the house. She carried it into the house, wrapped it up, and instead of carrying it all out, because I still got a bad knee, I just broke the box down. So we're gonna go through and go through our directions. And my idea with this is to show how hard this is to set up, what you get for your money. I'll have to look up and see how much this was. I think it was like 150 bucks. Just a little, I know Forged in Fire is real big. That's part of the reason why I got into it, but I don't see myself making many knives. I think more decorative camping type stuff is what I'm going to be doing. But that's a side note. I don't have an anvil yet. I don't have tongs yet. I don't have anything, but you got to start somewhere. And the first place to start is getting metal hot. And that's what we're hoping to do here. This cart is just your average Harbor Freight generic bolt together Chinese thing. And I think it's going to live pretty much on it. Although I don't think I'm going to modify anything yet. But we're going to go over and read the instructions and show you how hard it is to set up. Okay, here we go. Alright, I believe we've got our burner tubes on. And it says to extend them approximately 1/8 of an inch beyond, which you can see that little tube poking through. Yep, that's it. I think we're good there. Now it says to slide the choker tubes on, which I'm going to assume are those. And I think what they do is they slide over these and they cover the air holes to regulate the amount of oxygen that is getting to your fire. Just a note, all you Mr. Volcano Forge builders, some pictures or even a crudely drawn sketch or a diagram or some crayons and some napkins and something you drew out would help very much so, because you don't know, whenever you say the choker, there's nothing on here that says this is a choker. I'm just inferring, and I might here in a minute go into my house where I have Wi-Fi and internet connectivity and double check what this thing's even supposed to look like when it's done. Alright, let's see what this looks like. So, this is what you got in the box. There was a brown box here. I opened it up. It's 2 bags of refractory. You got your gas valves, some sort of torch rods, a couple collars, and some extra wing nuts, which I think are wing nutted bolts, which are going to go here, and those bricks. Now, in the instructions, it says all over, ceramic fire blanket needs to be rigidized and then covered with refractory. Using your forge without prepared blanket is dangerous and expose toxic fibers. Do not neglect this step. Rigidize protects you, blah 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 blah, and make sure you have all that stuff, which I do. I have safety glasses, I have a respirator, and I have gloves. So when we get to those parts, I'll be alright. But do not use it just with the blanket. Okay, so it says slide the burner tubes through the forge tube until it's past the blanket 1/8 of an inch or so, then thumb tighten. So we're going to go ahead and do that and then move on to the next step. Alright, just a note, Mr. Volcano. Yeah, Mr. Volcano. I did have to run a tap and a die in these holes because I couldn't get the wing bolts. They're not wing nuts, they're wing bolts to go the whole way through, but there you go. Now the next step, install the gas line tubes with the shutoff valves into the burner tube, tighten the set screw. So I'm thinking they're going to have to go on the top, because if they went from the bottom, there would be no way to tighten said set screws. And that's probably what that Allen wrench is for. Alright, do it. Alright, we got that all done. I'm going to assume that this washer was tack welded on there, so it doesn't go past that point, whatever that point is. Now, I know there's a lot of videos on building your own forge, and if you're completely broke, I don't blame you. But you also got to look at it from this standpoint. This is like 150 bucks, and I'm this far in like 10 minutes. So your time's worth something too. I couldn't, and that and the parts, like these ball valves are probably, I don't know, 8 bucks a piece. These are probably a couple bucks, and then to get your tube and then bend it and thread it, and then buy your collars and whatnot else. If you can build it out of scrap, you probably wouldn't be bad off, but I mean, you're actually getting quite a good bit, at least so far, for what your total investment is, even if this thing doesn't work perfectly. Then again, if I built it, it probably wouldn't work perfectly anyway. Alright. After curing, you can insert 2 bricks inside the forge. To conserve heat, a 3rd brick can be used to stand upright at the end you will not be using. So that's why we have 3 bricks. But now we're up to the rigidizer and refractory. I'm going to read a whole bunch on this. 32 ounce rigidizer, enough to cover all sides in the blanket. Remove the blanket from the forge, uncurl it, and place it on a flat surface. I might have to get a board down. With a spray bottle, spray regular water on all sides of the blanket. I'm going to have to clean out one of my spray bottles. Spray rigidizer on all sides of the blanket. Use all 32 ounces to cover evenly. Make sure the entire blanket is red. Install the blanket in the forge. Fire up the forge on low pressure. See operating instructions for 1 minute, then let it cool down. Do this several times to remove the majority of the water from the blanket. So, yeah, we're going to do all that. Let's get to it. First, I need some gloves. Yes, and before you all jump all over me, I did forget a step. Well, I didn't forget it because I just did it, but yeah, there's your hose. Tighten it here, tighten it there. Must not have to be too tight because these both spun. I had to hold the valves. So I'm going to leave these at whatever tightness they were. And if I die, I know who I'll sue. Ta-da! Alright, I'm going to get that board down, and then we'll lay this out. Alright, so it says to light the thing up at low pressure, and it says to insert something burnt. Basically it says make sure everything's off, let alone match or flame material, barbecue starter, cardboard paper, and set it inside the forge under the burner tube opening. Then open the tank slowly a little bit at a time. Note this is referring to the regulator on the hose. Slowly open the valve until 5 psi is on. So down here is my turkey fire has one. That valve is adjustable and there's a little gauge on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to light a piece of paper on fire. I'm going to need a lighter, and slowly, stick it in there, and then we're going to slowly let the gas in. So the first thing I'm going to do is So after some inference, I decided that possibly I'm getting too much air, because I know carb choking stuff, that's how it works. Carburetors, you know. So we're going to close these halfway. We're going to see if that makes a difference. Seems to make quite a difference. Those of you who actually know how to forge are probably laughing your full heads off right now, because I got something wrong. Alright. I think that's pretty good. I have to watch a video or two about how the hell do you light a forge. Ah! But this is supposed to be based off of there. Alright. So what I think I'm doing wrong is right here. I think I need to start off there. And I think I need to do this. Bring it up to about 5. Just like that. Amazing what a little YouTube search will find. find it. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't find anything on YouTube. I'm gonna try it out. Now we're cooking. I don't know a whole lot about flames yet. I think that's pretty good. We're only at 10 psi. There's 30. Excuse me, 15. 15, not 30. Woohoo! So, the trick is, and I'm probably going to turn this into a short YouTube video, is to open your gas there. Open it down there first, and then open it up there when you light it. And bring her up slow. But that was just tits. Sorry if I offended anybody. But that was good. I'm going to leave that be. Because tomorrow, because this thing's screaming hot right now. Yeah. Because I just had to use it. We're going to see about putting a little bit of a castable refractory in it, which is there. And they say between each application you have to give it 24 hours. But woohoo! That's tits. I didn't play with any of these yet, but I mean, we'll get there. We'll play with it more later. Awesome. Alright, time for dinner. So, we got our refractory. I took the burners, I just unscrewed the set screw. They're sitting under there. I just pulled them the whole way up out. Because now we got to apply our refractory. I'm going to be wearing gloves. I got 2 paint brushes and I got the mask. It says this takes 2 coats. And it says to use 260 milliliters. The only problem I have with this is we went from fluid ounces to milliliters. So I had to do some conversions. And what I figured out is 260 milliliters equals approximately, it's like 8.79 ounces. 8.79 ounces equals just about 1 1/8 cups of water. 1 1/8. And 1 1/8 cups of water I poured into this here, the old rigidizer bottle. And I borrowed my crappiest whisk. And I have coffee cans because I got, coffee, whatever. Coffee. But they're always good to have around. But it says to pour approximately 2 pounds of the refractory in. And we wear my mask. And get ready for a long shot again. Alright, today's only going to be a repeat of yesterday because it says to do it in 2 coats. That was the first of 2. And I only really changed the fact that I upgraded my brush. That is a good quality brush. I used the chip brush yesterday. I found that to be really difficult to spread the medium, so I got myself a 2-inch actual paintbrush. So, get ready for some high-speed work. Woohoo! Alright, we left it overnight, 24 hours like it said, and wait, that's not a really good angle. That top has collapsed far enough. Wait, I'm standing in my own shadow, I think, that you can see a little bit of daylight. You can see the whole way across it. And I can look in there and see the other wall. Yeah, there you can really see it. And the refractory has already started to crack. So, I don't know what to do about that. I mean, if you look, it's a little tough to see. Oh yeah, you can see it. It's all cracked up there. And the whole thing sagged. I'm not sure what you could do about that. It might be one of those situations where it just is as good as it gets. I don't know. I mean, it really won't hurt what I'm doing. But I'm going to move on to the stage where you're supposed to put the burners back in, fire it up, run it for like 45 seconds a couple times, and then increase it by 5 seconds each time until all the moisture's out. But yeah, I don't know. A little disappointed there, but not sure what I could have done to change that. I mean, if I would have built something to hold it up, it would have been in the way of smearing the refractory. But the only thing I think I could have done was done it in, like, instead of 2 coats, one top, one bottom each time, do like 1 coat on the bottom, then flip it over and do 1 coat on the top, like over 4 days instead of 2 days. But this is what the instructions said to do. Yeah, because if you put that refractory on too thick, it's going to crack too. So, I guess it just is what it is. Maybe you'll come up with a better idea and won't make the same mistakes I do, or maybe Mr. Volcano will address it and talk about it. I'm not affiliated with them in any way, shape, form, disposition, whatever, but time to put them burners back in and see what we get. Alright. I put the fire bricks in just because, like, you're basically trying to bake something, and sometimes direct heat is not the best for baking. Let's see if we can get it going this time. I also up my pressure just a little bit. Well, it's glowing a little bit. Like I said, I just don't know if the fire directly on that's going to be good. So, but it's cracking too. I can see cracks already. But you know, it might just be one of them things. Sorry, I keep stepping on the board that the camera's on. I'm sorry if I shake it too much. Okay, do it again. So in the directions it says to start at 55 seconds and then add 5 seconds every time you light it. But my problem is when I light it, I mean, it's hard to be mindful of the flame and mindful of the clock at the same time. So what I'm going to do is kind of guesstimate it, I guess, because it's really hard. I guess that was close enough. I mean, you could run the playback and tell me, but I really, yeah, doing the best I can. The directions say to keep doing it until all the moisture's out of it. Like, you don't see any more moisture coming off. I haven't seen any moisture since the start. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, but here goes. We'll do this one more time, then we'll just light her up for real. Better way to line them. Thank you, Purgatory Ironworks. We'll let it rest again, and then we'll fire her up for real and see what we ended up with, alright? Alright, let's kick this sucker off for real. I am going to disclaimer me, but here it is. I didn't own a forge a couple days ago. Never lit one up till 3 days ago. So, be nice, in the comments. I know I'm probably not doing a lot of things right, but as long as I don't blow myself up and we heat up a little chunk of metal, I think we'll be all right. Safety third. So I'll go over what I learned so far without going too far, because it's, you know, I'm trying not to blow stuff up. I set my pressure to 15 psi at the bottle, and then I regulate the amount of gas here. And now I can open them the whole way up now that they're hot. And you can adjust your flame slightly up here. Obviously, the further down you go, the more air, hotter the mix. I'll have to play around with it a little bit. I know what I like to see in an oxyacetylene torch. A real nice neutral flame. About 1/8-inch cones coming off it, but I don't know what it would be here. I just don't know. But it's got a nice glow to it. It's actually pretty pretty. Like I said, I don't have my anvil yet. Matter of fact, Amazon canceled my order on me. I don't know why. So I won't have an anvil for a while. Let's see how long it takes to heat that up. I'm trying to let this play, but if I edit it out, I'm sorry. It just gets to be too long sometimes. we got her hot. Definitely hot. Woo. It's shut down now. Oh, turn off the gas. But anyway, overall feelings and reviews. See if we can bleed the gas out. I wish that the instructions were a little more first timer user friendly, and the reason for that is, like, let's look at it this way. If you're a Purgatory Ironworks, Alex Steel, somebody like that, you are going to custom build yours because you spent time with them, you know what you like, you know what you're doing, you've used sanitized refractory before, you have opinions on the insulation, the brick, you already have a whole setup. You know what to look for in a flame, yada 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 yada. I wish that they had taken a little more time to go over all that. I wish this almost came with a DVD. Because if you're buying a forge on Amazon, you are not a pro. I mean, that might offend some people, and I'm sorry. But I just feel that in order to be fair, most people who are buying this are going to pound on some stuff in their backyard. You know what I mean? They're not smiths, or they're beginning smiths. And I know what you're going to say, well, you could take a class or something, but that's true. But, you know, most people I don't think are going to, even if they had a class, it'd be nice to have a reference. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm judging it on. Now, is it a quality? I mean, yeah, you can heat up steel with it. I haven't run it for very long. I don't even know if I've run it very well. I'm a little disappointed in that gap. And that's something that maybe like some pins or something could have helped. Like a screw and a fender washer, I guess. But I don't know. But also, like I said, looking back on it, I would have come up with something different to do for that, but the way it is the way it is. And there was nothing mentioned in the directions about looking out for that or anything else. And it just may be. So, is this a good beginner forge? I think so. Is it worth the money? Like I said, it's about 150 bucks. Sure. But there's a few things that don't really cost anything that they could have included. Like, I know I'm going a little far with the DVD, but even just pictures on the instructions. Like, how much more would it cost? I mean, they laminated them, which is nice, so you don't have to worry about getting them wet or nothing. I mean, they're all laminated. But whenever it says how to assemble, you know, it just says set the burner tube through the forge tube until it passes the ceramic blanket an 1/8 of an inch or so. So it's not very specific, and it doesn't show you what the burner tube is. I mean, yeah, I could put it together, but just those little bitty things that whenever you are buying something, I think are missing. Like, you wouldn't buy a car without an owner's manual. Why would you buy a forge without one? And it wouldn't cost a whole lot to add that in, I don't think. But that's my review. That's what I think. Mr. Volcano, we're going to make some nice stuff together. Okay, bye-bye.